Okay guys, part 2 of the video of what showed up on the ProNoobRC bench over Christmas. We have the Axial SCX10-III Early Bronco, they're calling it. I believe it is a late 60s type Bronco. Very cool open cab kind of concept. You can take the windshield if you want to go completely fully open on it. Looks good. Injection molded type cage on it. Mind you, body clip slide around in there. It's got the clutch, brake, gas. It's got multiple shifters in it, full dash, steering wheel. The dash is nice because it's a separate plastic piece than the lower piece, so it looks pretty good. We got a little hood scoop on the front. Now originally the truck had the same color blue matching stripe down the sides, but when I was watching videos and cruising the Facebook pages, I came across many that were just in the white. So I'm in the process of taking that off. We got to take off the hood scoop to get this decal off free and clear, but it's going to look a lot better all in white. And we're about to just quickly throw some 90mm Traxxas shocks in it. Now the truck comes with the straight axles underneath it instead of the portals, as we know the 10-3s come. The 10-3s came on portals on 90s, which we thought was a little bit tall. So when they went to the straight axle, I figured they would just keep it on the 90s, which is a good recipe, which we all know has worked for many years. But they instead decided to go with these taller ones. It makes the truck just too much. The biggest problem is the body roll. Like, we push this guy down and I can roll it over to here before these tires start lifting. That's pretty excessive. That's going to cause a lot of off-hill wanting to roll over and such. It's a little much. So what we're going to do is throw some Traxxas 90mm shocks in there. They're just the basic shock that they use in the TRX4. And we picked up some, I think, 0.35 springs for them, which is a stock TRX4 spring. Traxxas has quite the variety of spring rates, so I'm going to actually grab all of them so we can do some testing and tuning between all of our other trucks. I wasn't aware they actually had so many different spring rates going on there. So then we're going to actually, these rims are really nice, but for a little bit more down low weight, and because we want Vanquish wheels on all our trucks, we're going to put some black Vanquish wheels on here, and might run these Falcons. I'm going to see what we have. We have some other tires kicking around. This rubber's a little bit hard, so we might go to a Vanquish tire to actually go with this too. But yeah, let's check her out under the hood really quick. Now it does have the 4 body clips, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Those are already removed. And you just gotta watch for your wires for your lights. It doesn't matter which one goes back into which one later. They just supply power. They don't have any actual function, like no turn signal, brake, anything. Okay guys, with the body off under the hood, we can see we're running the Spectrum Firma 2-in-1 ESC and receiver unit. That also comes with a decent DX3 radio, even with a little thumb drive action on it. You can open the door on the top, and for 20 bucks you can add in a Bluetooth module, and then you can set your EPAs, all that stuff on it. It's pretty cool. I like how they've done that on the new technology of the radios with these Bluetooth modules. But anyhow, back in the hood of this guy, we've got the Spectrum 2-in-1, followed up with this little Spectrum DIGG servo. Now, you're going to need to set the endpoint adjustments on there. Look it up online, how to set the endpoint adjustments for that servo. It is fairly easy to do. Get that set up on there, or swap to your DX5 Rugged or whatever you're going to do like we will do with the truck, and then you know how to set that up already without looking online. Yeah, so basically no 2-speed. It has a DIGG unit in it factory. You can upgrade and put in a servo for the 2-speed here. I don't really, yeah, everything's pretty much here to put it in. I think you might have to actually put the gears inside for that. I can't remember, as the other ones we have are kit trucks and they come with the 2-speed and the DIGG in them. This will be our first RTR 10.3. But anyhow, let's quickly yard these really tall shocks out and put some 90 mils in it, change the wheels out. We'll pop back in a few seconds and it's going to look 100 times better. I'm also going to remove that blue decal off of the hood and get a whole new vibe going for it. Now coming up, we ordered the entire catalog that RC 4-wheel drive has for this truck. That should land here probably the next week or two, being Christmas and Chinese New Year. Probably in February it will land here, but we'll do a complete build video on this truck when that shows up, tuning, all that stuff, and show you guys what we come up with. We did already the 90mm shock swap on our Gladiator, but because of the 14.5-inch wheelbase, we limited the shocks inside because she still had far too much articulation because of the wheelbase. So we will deal with that later once we kind of get them installed, and we'll show you how we've come up with that. Another thing is these inner fenders are beautiful, but this little lip on the top, hard to see, but you're gonna need to take that top lip off. It really interferes with the body. You can actually shave them back front and rear, and then it'll make going off and on a lot simpler than what it is now. You gotta fight it, pull it, wrap it around, make sure everything drops in. It's a bit of a battle. Anyhow, I'll see you guys back in a few seconds once we change the attitude of this vehicle. Okay guys, there you go. We've got the Bronco sitting down on the Traxxas 90mm stock shocks and GTRs, whatever they are, the TRX4 shocks on the 0.0350 spring rate, which is the standard TRX4 spring rate. We have backed the shock collars all the way up to the top so we can get her to sit all the way down. Now when you lift it up, it does have a bit too much gap in the wheel well for we're liking, but it is a lot better. You guys remember how far it actually dropped out before? Plus, let's put a little bit of weight on it as we did in the beginning of the video. So we're still getting a bit of more body roll, but nothing like it was. You guys remember that truck was getting like that on the factory. Well, maybe not that much, but you remember, it was pretty wild. So we're pretty happy with that. Now, I'm not really feeling the vibe of the 1.9 black tank Vanquish wheel we have on there with the black beadlock. I don't know if it's the crawler TAs or something. Maybe it needs a little something. So we're going to go into our box and bin of parts. We're going to see what we have for maybe some dredger or deltas or scarns or whatever, beadlock rings, maybe some scale hardware. We kind of change the look of it, just not totally feeling the vibe. And honestly, we do want to lower it some more. Okay, so we're going to start on that. We'll jump back here and show you guys where you'll need to cut off some mounts and such like that to make it go down. In the meantime, we're going to play with a couple setups of wheels and kind of change the look. They're just too washed out in the black. We like a little bit of color to kind of go with it. Plus, we got to get rid of the rest of that blue on the stickers. So stay tuned. We're going to get going on this guy. We're going to get this guy looking great. But right now, that's not low enough. I want my wheels up in the wheel wells. We also noticed the wheel well on the rear is higher than the wheel well on the front. I'm not sure why they went with that, but it's just a little bit, maybe about a quarter inch or so. So anyhow, I'm going to shut up. We're going to rip this thing apart, and we'll see you back here in just a couple seconds when we get that going. Okay guys, there you go. Jesse and I have decided to go with, actually for now, the stock 1.9 wheel that came off of the Fordyce. It is a KMC wheel. That'd be cool if somebody came out with a plastic one. It's nice, 0.8 of an inch wide, and we're going to run the stock Falcon Wild Peak Vanquish tire on it. It looks great. I like it. The black is kind of what we wanted. It's easy to get a spare for the back, so we can take that one out and get a matching spare. These guys were just a little too rowdy for a classic old Bronco look, so we're going to put these guys onto the Fordyce, and we're going to change the black ring over to a clear anodized, or silver if you would, dredger beadlock. So I think that looks pretty fantastic, but right now we're still only able to get it down that low, and we want to go lower. So we are going to take the shocks off. We're going to cut off the mount on the axle so we can move the shock down to the lower mount. We're going to do them, and we'll save one back corner, show you how you do it. We'll just kind of show you when we have it all apart. It's a pain in the butt to get in there and cut everything. It is easier to remove the axles, to do it and put it back in. So yeah, we got to get that chopped up and cleaned. We'll get this guy sitting lower. The scaler, the better. So yeah, I want those wheels up as close as I can get to that fender well when I bring her down. Kind of ride height would be nice sitting about there. It's kind of a nice look. You don't need much more than that. It is, you know, short wheelbase between here and here. You don't need a crazy high wheelbase like it was factory already. So, and I'm gonna shut up. We're gonna tear this apart. We'll see you back here in just a few seconds. Okay, guys. So we ended up yarding the axle of the truck out. There's not enough room to get in there and do it cleanly. Mind you, last time Jesse and I've done this is on the Axial SCX6, which is the exact same axle, just about this big. So a lot more room to get in there and do it. You can undo the shock, get in there and chop everything out. So you want to get your razor saw, go in there. We've already done this side here. You can see it's not simple enough. You can make a straight cut right down to the block that way and then come in straight this way through. So this is the block here you need to remove. Now you can do a couple other things. You can push up your shock collar a little bit so the bottom of your shock isn't hitting, because that's the problem, is your shock collar will hit that if you're mounted down to the bottom. It's kind of hard to show you guys, but can you see? See, if we're mounted there under articulation, we're going to be hitting that. Some guys have come up with a kit to push that out of the way, and you get that articulation without chopping the axle. But at the end of the day, these axle housings are already warped, and they're only $7 or $8 a pop to replace. There is no way to straighten it. You just got to deal with having a rear towed axle, whatever it is. The only way to change it would be to upgrade it to aluminum. And then once you upgrade to aluminum, then you really got to decide if you want to make that sacrifice to chop it off and lower it down. My Honcho has aluminum axles. My SCX6 Honcho has aluminum axles, and we didn't cut that down. But that truck performs good, where our Jeeps with aluminum axles, we have cut those down. So plastic axles, or plastic axle Jeeps, we cut those down. So okay, so you want to get yourself a good sturdy way to hold this. I like to use one of these easy miter boxes. Great tool to have to go with your razor saw. But you want to find a way to hold it so you're not trying to cut it and trying to cut yourself, or avoid cutting yourself at all costs. You find something you put under this side, or you can just muscle it. But yeah, very simple. Chop that guy off nice and straight down. There you go. So I didn't quite cut all the way through because it is kind of goes into the tube a little bit. So I cut through, wiggled and broke it off like a dirty old tooth. There you go. Now you got your lower mounts, and then you're going to have to upgrade your screws to a 25 millimeter, I believe it is. 25 millimeter screw. So basically a 1 inch or 25 millimeter by 3 millimeter screw. So then you can run your shock on the outside, on this side, and your link on the inside. So once that's through, link through here, shock through here, and you can drop it down, and that's going to give you a ton more performance. Center of gravity as low as you can go is always the best solution. Big lifted truck for rock crawling is a mud truck, so it doesn't work. Okay, we're going to do this at the front, and we're going to bring it back in a few seconds with the truck sitting at its new elevation and looking mint. Okay guys, there you go. I think that truck looks 1,000 times better. Wheel tire package, we changed the shock to the 90 mil. We lowered the shock from its own perch. We cut that off. We moved it down to the lowest mount, so it's mounted onto the links down here. We used 25 millimeter screws so we can pass through, right through. Everything works good. You're not losing anything because you're got a link down there anyway, right? So you're not losing anything. You're gaining a lot with the lower center of gravity plus the look factor. The factor wheels are nice. Like, it's cool they give you that. We'll probably end up using these on like a rat rod with a different tire, something like that down the road. Not really. Like, maybe if we got aluminum slot mags, it would look good. But right now, I'm liking the black wheel on it, the white truck. We deleted the rest of that blue decal off the hood. The blue deckling, it's cool. They gave it to you. They gave you an extra silver and black stripe down the side if you want. They didn't give you an extra hood package, but the truck has a nice shape to it already. It looks good just in the two-tone between the black and the white, or if you were to paint it, different colors. It doesn't need all that extra. So, looking good. Looking very good now. Very happy with it. Good starting point. We do have that catalog of parts coming from RC 4-wheel drive over the next couple weeks. We're hoping to start seeing some parts show up, so we get the cage for the back to finish that off. A little bed cage, marker lights, grill, badges, wood floor for the back, floor mats, new seats, a touchscreen display on the dash. We just literally ordered everything they have. We got silver and black Bronco emblems coming from the side. Since there's no chrome on it, I wasn't sure if we wanted to have a classic chrome badge or the black, so we got them both. We'll see which one works better on there. Probably gonna lean towards the black. We did get the black grille coming. The grille on it is okay, but the one coming is a lot better. We'll cut out the Lexan behind, put a radiator behind it, and really get it set off. The truck already comes though with nice marker front marker lights. no side marker lights, sorry, front signals that light up as marker lights. They don't turn on signals out of the box. Decent LEDs front and rear with no actual brake light or turn signal function. They just light up, which is fine. You can add that with light control or two down the road. These stickers will be coming off, and we'll be putting a actual lens and light in there, so a lot of things coming up for it. But anyhow, that's pretty much where we're at right now. The mods were, what, $100 for the shocks, pretty much. That's about it. A little bit of time. We stole the wheels and tires off another truck, so if you were to incorporate buying those, I don't think they're that expensive. Probably 150, 60 bucks Canadian, so that's like $75 American for everything here. So okay, so that's about where we're at right now. Very happy with the truck. It's sitting really nice. I'm going to go through and actually pull it all apart tonight, pull apart the body, and start sanding and getting that ready for painting everything with a matte black. The gloss black everywhere just kind of doesn't jive. And then I'm going to pull all the plastic pieces, wash those, clean that little burr off the edge where they're molded with the back side of a razor blade. You can just take your back edge and just scrape it like that. So I'm going to go through and take all that out because I'm going to come through here and paint my cage and all my plastic everywhere on the truck in matte black. Plus I'm going to remove that Axial logo and gusset from the door. It is just far too big and doesn't look scale. And yeah, we're going to run these stock seats for now. I'm not going to do anything with them because we do have seats coming that are a lot taller from RC 4-wheel drive. Anyhow, I'm going to go get to work on this. Jesse's got to get to work. We'll see you guys next time.